Welcome back to Getting Our Hearts Right. In our series, we've had an introduction to some of the barriers to good relationships, and we've also learned the first and second key to improving them, which was humility and compassion. Today, we will learn the third key, positivity. Positivity inspires our hearts. If you're following along in the Getting Our Hearts Right handout, we're beginning on page 9 today. Positivity is the practice of seeing the good in people. Positivity may be one of the best attested truths to healthy relationships. Sandra Murray in Positive Illusions says, "Don't dwell on negativity. Let positivity define your relationships. People who have the happiest relationships have positive illusions about one another. They believe that their relationships are extraordinary. They see through rose-colored glasses." John Gottman recommends a 5-to-1 ratio of positive comments and interactions for every one negative one. Think for a moment. With an important relationship in your life, do you meet that ratio? Are there 5 positive comments for every negative one? He also recommends writing down the things that went well on a daily basis. Albert Einstein said, "Everybody is a genius, but if you judge a fish by its ability to climb a tree, it will live its whole life believing that it is stupid." Think of this question. As you interact with people, what do you usually see or think? Our usual response is, "People are a mess. They are self-centered and thoughtless." John Gottman calls this practice a crabby habit of mind. A positive response would be, "People really try. I am amazed at some of the things they come up with." So just as it's important to cultivate humility and compassion, we can also cultivate positivity. Consider this story. It's a 50th wedding anniversary party. At their 50th wedding anniversary party, friends asked the honored couple the secret to their happiness. The wife replied, "When we first got married, I decided to forgive my husband 10 of his faults." The curious guest asked her to name some of the faults that she listed. She replied, "I never got around to making the list of faults, but every time he did something that made me mad, I told myself, it's a good thing that is one of the 10. For healthy relationships, we can offer people pre-forgiveness. Even before they have annoyed or hurt us, we can already choose to forgive them. The first step to cultivating positivity is we can remember the good times in a relationship. Think of the conflict you described earlier if you're following along in the handout, or think of a conflict you have with someone now. What are your best memories of that person? Write those memories in the reflection box on page 9. You can pause the video to have time to record your thoughts and restart when you're ready. Consider this story from a married couple. When we are upset with one another, we are better off remembering all the things we love about one another and all the good times we've had. For example, trips, anniversaries, our little inside jokes, shared interest, things we're passionate about, enthusiasm, humor, or even, "I love my husband's smile." The second step to cultivating positivity is we can focus on the good qualities in people and appreciate how they enrich our lives. In the first reflection box on page 10, write the good qualities that the person you're in conflict with has. You can pause the video to complete your thoughts and restart when you're ready. There's a teen girl who's driving with the family in the car. She lets go of the wheel on a long curve that scares her. They crash through a Pennzoil sign and come to a screeching stop in front of a gas station. After a moment of silence, the father quips, "As long as we're here, does anyone need to use the restroom?" What a great positive response. The third step to cultivating positivity is when relationships don't go well, we can assume that problems are temporary and minimal. Whatever the problem is, this too shall pass. It may pass like a kidney stone, but it will pass. Usually rings true. Positive ways of thinking in marriage. I don't know or see the solution right now, but I love you and I'm committed to you, so I know we will find a solution. How comforting would that be if your partner said that to you during a conflict? We can ask, what temporary circumstances may be contributing to our conflict? Did you have a rough day? Or are you in a bad mood? Have I misunderstood something that you said? Are you just really hungry or sleepy? There are so many circumstances that affect our ability to communicate with other people. In the reflection box on page 10, write the ways you can re-script your memories of the relationship. Really focus on the good things. Again, you can pause the video to complete your thoughts and restart when you're ready. We can see the good things in our relationships as enduring or typical. We can make a choice to see in positive ways. That expands our hearts from puny to powerful. Think about the things that have helped the relationship flourish during times when it was at its best, and record those in the reflection box on page 10. Pause the video and restart when you're ready. Another step to cultivating positivity is we can identify examples of people who sustain positive relationships and learn from their examples. Who do you know that's a great example of a positive relationship? I can think of several. Record this reflection in the reflection box on page 10. We can talk about positivity, but unless we apply it to our own situation, it doesn't help our relationship. Think about what helps you to be more positive in your relationships. Is it your religious convictions of love your enemies, for example? Is it the way you were raised? That can be both positive or negative. Think about ways that you can apply this to yourself. You may need to think of more examples of relationships that are positive that you would like to strive for. Reach out to those people and ask them what their tips are. Maybe you have a loving leader or a school teacher or a neighbor, or maybe your favorite couple that you go out to dinner with your spouse with them has some great tips they can share. Changed hearts activate loving responses. But Rome wasn't built in a day. It required conscious effort and enduring commitment. And just with building Rome, our hearts have to be built. Our relationships have to be changed. Using positivity. It may feel different as we think and act in different ways and develop new habits. But we can learn to be more open to other people, more humble. We can be more sensitive to their concerns, compassion, and more appreciative of their efforts, positivity. The keys of humbleness, compassion, and positivity can change our relationships if we put conscious effort into it to change our habits more in these directions. As we said in the beginning, it takes more than just knowledge and skills to have better relationships. but those with the motivation of a right heart will help us get to the thriving relationships that we all want. I hope that you have enjoyed our Getting Our Hearts Right series and that you've followed along and completed the activities in your handout. Those handouts are available on our uaex.edu webpage at any time for you to download when you need to work through additional conflicts, or as a refresher if you're falling short in one of the 3 keys. Thank you for joining us, and we look forward to serving you again.